We are back at it today, folks. It's another hot one. Over 100 yesterday, again over 100 today. So it's a bit rough out here putting up this subfloor, but we're making progress. We've got the 2-foot cantilever on the front end of the house installed, as you can see here, and getting all of the I-joists nailed to the rim board. So as you can see underneath, we're cantilevered over the foundation, 2 feet, on this long cantilever right here for the front of the house. And then we come back in along the foundation. We're all nailed in this corner. Still got to get the blocking in before we can finish up the subfloor too. On this end, we're working on getting the rest of the rim board in and getting this cantilever and the other cantilever over there cut. So as you can see, they're long right now, but they're going to stick out. We're going to cut them at 2 feet all the way across before we install the rim board on the end of it. And then we're going to have to come through and put CDX plywood, exterior rated plywood, on the underside of all the cantilevers. And once we've got everything nailed in and blocked, then we can move on to installing the subfloor sheathing. So here we are over here. What are you working on?
Putting up this rim joist. It's not cooperating.
Yeah. We're working with it's about 20 feet long, this piece of the rim board. So we got to get it set up right on the edge of the sill plate. And then once it's up, we can nail things in. So that's what he's working on right now. This is that other cantilever section right here, about 12 feet cantilever that sticks 2 feet out. And then the rim board is already installed over in that corner. So the goal is today to finish up the rim boards and the wood I-joists and blocking, hopefully, so that we can get going on the floor sheathing. We'll see how fast this can move along. So he's working right now to get this first I-joist in the correct location so he can start nailing the rim board, make it easier so it doesn't fall off.
This is I-beam span this, and look at how crooked it is. Warps. Makes life difficult. See how it comes down and it warps. When you're trying to nail it, twist it in place.
Makes these long i-joists. This specific one is 28 feet 4.5. So with that warping, it makes it difficult to install. But once we get it all nailed in and blocked, we'll take care of that warping. It's just getting it installed that makes it difficult. So you're using your square.
Line, line down there. Square. I'm a constant checker, so I recheck everything I do. Every fourth one on a 16-inch center turns out to be a division of 4, so 78. If you got 28, that'll be where center will be right here in this one. You look down, there's 28. You come back, 16th. This is a long tape, does it? So it doesn't have the 16th measurement, the 16 centers. So what I do is I just make sure every fourth one is correct, and then just do the others by measuring off those. Probably more time consuming than it needs to be, but I like it done so I know it's right.
But when you're in construction, sometimes redundancy is important. Because you'd rather take the extra time to do it right the first time rather than have to correct it after the fact.
The other problem I have right now is not only the warp boards, but I have a nut right here, so I got a notch for the nut on the I-beam.
So those, as you can see here, are anchor bolts drilled into the concrete, and they hold the sill plate to the foundation. But every once in a while, you get an i-joist that has to run right by one. So we're going to have to notch it so that it doesn't cause a problem.
There's a double right there.
So to give you an idea of what we have to do structurally with these cantilevers, over here, you can see that on the other side, we've got 2 i-joists right together. So those, at every edge of every cantilever, we have to double up the i-joists to support that cantilever. So we got 2 pieces of i-joists nailed together over there. And so we'll have to do the same thing in this location. We'll have to install 2 wood i-joists right at the edge of this cantilever to support the edge of the cantilever as it goes out past the foundation. So what he's doing here is where each joist needs to be, he marks a line and puts an X on the side that the i-joist has to sit in relation to that line so that he places each one in the correct location.
square so I don't have to mark or anything. Just bring the joist up. This usually works pretty good. And we'll just bring it up so it's flush.
So we've got the first two over there at that end of the rim board. And now we're getting over here at the end. And then we'll go back through the middle and get all of those now that our rim board isn't going to flop around on us.
Gotta. See it. Let's see what the problem is. That bolt. See it? It's right where the board's supposed to go.
Well, we're sitting right on a bolt. So we see the string here. That was so we could check and make sure it was straight by sticking a 2x4 piece along here and seeing how it ran to make sure that our rim board's straight. You can see we dug out underneath here so that we can place on the underside of all of these cantilevers a piece of CDX plywood. That's because it's going to be outside, so it has to be rated in order to be outside, since that piece will be underneath and essentially buried, because we'll build this up here. So as you can see, this whole side is done. We just have the cantilevers on the far side and then all the blocking before we can put the sheathing, the floor sheathing, on top. So right now you are working on cutting the wood i-joists for the double joists at each end of the cantilever. So we'll have a double joist at this end, double joist at the far end, double joist at each end of that cantilever, and a double joist at that cantilever on each end as well. So that's what these wood i-joists are for, so that we can get the doubles in required by structural, finish up our blocking, finish up the rim board on those two cantilevers over there, and then get the floor sheathing on.
Completely cut these, so I have to trim them.
Oh, the blade's not deep enough?
So I have to trim them. So you look at a little bit right there.
Mm.
So, there we go.
So we're getting there. Hopefully sometime tomorrow we'll start the floor sheeting. If we can get all the blocking in tomorrow as well. At least it's finally cooled off. It's not quite so hot out. It was pretty hot earlier. We were over 100 yesterday and most of today. So we all had to go in and cool off for a while so we didn't overheat.